Hello, this is Purge bringing you guys game 2 of Shakira versus MYM for the Gosuleague Division 1. I'm joined again by LD. We just caught an awesome match where Shakira actually played very well and took a win off MYM.
Yeah, three stand-ins, but it honestly felt like they were a bit more organized or at least decisive about what they wanted to do. I mean, you talked about it in one fight where the Riki kept on changing targets. I actually felt that was sort of a microcosm of the whole game where it seemed like MYM wasn't entirely on the same page. They didn't have a clear game plan in the mid game. Went for a lot of smoke ganks, got a kill on Queen and paid top later on in the game, and then somewhat inexplicably backed up in a 5v4. Didn't even try to force a buyback, didn't really try to get
Hmm.
anything off of that. It feels like a team that maybe just needs to commit to something for better or for worse. You're going to commit to decisions and they won't work, but I think the worst thing you can do as a Dota team is be indecisive, and we saw that from MYM last game. Let's see what they do this time around. They do start by banning the anti-mage, which I think that's a good way to start this game off.
Yeah, they drafted arguably the best carry against Anti-Mage, which is Ricky Maru, and they still were unable to shut him down. It really did require their offensive trialing to play effectively, and it was a little bit too tough for them. They got their Leshrac out of position, and then kill after kill after kill. Enchantress jungle defensive trialing is really tough to shut down. So it's understandable that they had problems there. Rubik is the first pick out of MYM. They played Rubik last game, correct? And just did not work out for them. It actually did okay in the laning stage. He did a great job last hitting against the Queen of Pain, but he wasn't able to really make the roam effective in the early to mid, unlike the Queen of Pain.
Yeah, the Queen of Pain first blooded him, and we were talking. It's something you don't really normally see, but hey, it worked for Shakira last game. They're going to stick with it this game. Queen of
Mhm.
Pain and Windrunner are the choices. Last game they first picked the Windrunner, but they can get it in the second pick here. Now it's back to MYM. How are they going to deal with this sort of try-carry strategy where you pick these very elusive heroes, strong heroes? Almost reminds me of, I want to say sort of how a lot of the Pinoy teams play in Dota 1 right now, where you pick two very mobile, aggressive heroes for your solos, and then pick some sort of farming carry in a tri-lane scenario. And normally the solos are the heroes that really do the most work for your team. And well, they definitely did last game. Darkseer was not banned though because MYM actually banned out the anti-mage. They leave Darkseer and Tide in the pool, so now they have Rubik, so there won't be any Ravage steals for Shakira. This is a much different lineup. Heavy on the team fight, heavy on the lockdown, and really when they start Deathball, and Shakira's gonna have to be very far ahead in terms of items, or just get some pickoffs, or it's gonna be tough to stop these heroes in a 5v5.
Yeah, how did Darkseer even make it that long in the picking stage is what I want to know. Almost always banned as a hero. He's one of the best long lane heroes on the bright side. Shakira has a lot of ranged heroes, so the Iron Show won't be as much of a nuisance in terms of harass there. But I mean, they do have the combos now. They have Darkseer, they have Tidehunter, they're gonna have Rubik as well, and Rubik's gonna be able to maybe even steal Scream of Pain or Queen of Pain ult. Even Power Shot would be good with Vacuum on top of it. So I'm sure we'll see lots of AoE bans, probably something like Enigma by Shakira in the second round, but I'm scared for them right now because that combo is always scary to play against.
Yeah, I don't know how heavy MYM wants to go in terms of the team fight. I mean, you already have so much. If you pick up another big ultimate reliant hero, well, Enigma's not reliant on his ultimate. He does bring other things to the table, the pushing power of the Eidolons, the quick farming in the jungle. But you get to a point in the game where really how he sort of makes his impact is with Black Hole. If it's on cooldown, maybe not going to do as much for you as another hero. But if they want to pick it up, hell, it's another ult. And again, the best counter for a hero like Enigma right now, it's not Beastmaster, it's not Vengeful Spirit. It's Rubik. Normally, when you see teams pick that hero, they ban
Hmm.
Rubik or pick him for themselves. Shakira really taking their time. I wonder if they're going to pick their third farmer now. That's what they did last game. They picked all three farmers in the first stage. That went back for the supports later. The Disruptor was actually had a big influence as well. I wonder if they're debating that.
Yeah.
They're really taking their time. Just no, they go for the Leshrac. Could be a
Mm.
farming Leshrac, but I think last game we saw it play as a support. Generally, the European teams seem to be favoring it more as a support. I wouldn't mind seeing a Leshrac that's played as a farmer. I think it could be pretty strong in this game.
Yeah, I could see that as well. You have to be a little worried about some of his spells getting stolen by Rubik because they are so effective. You steal Diabolic Edict, you let Leshrac go gank somewhere, and you take his tower right back at him. Or even taking the Split Earth can be very nasty because it has such a low delayed animation time. But we're into the bans now. We actually see an enchant ban next by MYM. And the Radiant team goes for a Shadow Demon, actually. So Shadow Demon for the Dire team, sorry, banned out. A hero that was used pretty effectively in the last game, mostly because of the anti-mage. But either way, as you use combos with him, it's still very, very scary.
We saw Broodmother last game neither get banned or picked, and I felt it could have fit in the last game. For MYM, if they have two of the best heroes to deal with it, the Tidehunter and the Darkseer, if they pick it, there are heroes that can slow down the Brood's push, but it's one of these heroes. It's nobody on the Shakira team clearly beats it. You can spam Screw Pain, you can spam Power Shot, defend your tower, but Brood's going to get a lot of farm. Brood's going to apply a ton of pressure, and they have such strong team fight heroes with the other three that they don't necessarily need to play with five to win team fights. So I wouldn't mind seeing something like that from them. Something give them a little bit of split push, a little
Hmm.
bit of pressure all over the map. Prophet has actually neither been banned or picked at this point in the draft, which he's one of sort of these heroes that sometimes you see him snapped up right away, and sometimes he's just not picked at all. He's in a weird place right now, but I think with all the change, Prophet's such a versatile hero. He can push, he can gank, and in this version, it seems more focused on hero killing than the last patch, which seemed more about pushing and you're sort of getting your carry farmed up. But he
Hmm.
fits into any style. I think he could work for both teams. Invoker, the pick for MYM here as we enter the second stage of picks.
Now, Night Stalker, a very good hero against Windrunner and Queen of Pain both. So this is why we saw that ban out of Shakira. But I'm a little surprised about the Luna. I haven't seen that much Luna play recently. What do you think they were really concerned about there? Just, do you know if MYM ever drafts Luna, or do you think they're just worried about the overall high base damage strat?
I'm not sure. I mean, I suppose if they're picking a hero, maybe like Morphling, Luna's actually pretty powerful against him, simply because the aura means that although he'll have a he's generally pretty survivable. Having all that damage on all your heroes means that he'll take a lot just from the
Hmm.
auto attack. So maybe that was a factor. It's also a carry that fits in great with this kind of lineup. You vacuum them in, you drop a Ravage. The creeps are probably dead at that point, and then the Eclipse comes out. So it's a hero
That's
that
true.
scales well into the late game and also adds a lot to your team fight. So, maybe something along those lines. I haven't seen MYM run that hero, so I'm not sure if it's specifically an MYM thing or more just a hero they're worried about dealing with.
And they have one more pick left over. They don't have a jungling here yet. They have a long lane. They have a Tide support. Rubik's probably gonna maybe Tide. Rubik is actually gonna support. We'll put Tide Hunter, Rubik Tide Hunter support, maybe with a ranged carry. Something like a Morphling is possible though. They do have a Disruptor who's a great counter against Morphling as well. And they are kind of limited on hard carries, but neither team actually committing to it just yet. I mean, there's tons of team fight from MYM with the Darkseer, Tide Hunter, and the Invoker. Those three combos together are going to be absolutely intimidating. But nobody has a hard carry yet. Queen of Pain's probably the highest carry potential in the game at the moment, and they've got plenty of time to make their decision now. Chaos Knight's gone, Luna's gone, Anti-Mage is banned, Lone Druid is banned. Who is left over?
I'm not really sure right now. There's Tiny, I suppose. He can carry extremely hard, but it's such a good lineup for kiting a hero like Tiny with Shackle Shot, Shadow Strike, Glimpse to send him away. Just
That's
it's
true.
kind of an annoying game to play a melee carry like that. I would honestly not mind seeing something a little bit off kilter, like a Life Stealer. Sure, they can kite, but just having Rage against this team, these are all casters, and having that Magic Muni 6 seconds can be very aggravating. So maybe something a little bit different. I'm not saying
Hmm.
it's what they're gonna pick, but I think it could work. You could also, even I'm trying to think what else they could do at this point. Maybe even a Juggernaut, just something that allows you to push,
Hmm.
apply some pressure. And if Juggernaut isolates any of these heroes, Omni Slash will bring them down.
Yeah, for sure. You have to worry about Queen of Pain. Like, it is going to be a Tiny, though. So Tiny, I guess, going to be their farmer hero. It's going to be a Tiny Tide Hunter, maybe a Rubik tri-lane is what we may end up seeing, which isn't the best tri-lane ever. Two melee heroes plus a range, but they have pretty good disables, multiple stuns there. And there are a lot of squishy heroes on Shakira's team, including the Rubik. It's going to be
Whoa.
a Phantom Lancer. Okay, this is the first time I've seen Phantom Lancer since his buff. His agility gain doubled. Am I correct? Something ridiculous like that? Or, oh, sorry, 50% increase. It was like a 50% increase in agility gain on Phantom Lancer. Now getting like 4 agility per level up. So his illusions do insane damage. The downside is that he's very weak to AoE, and the Radiant team is not short on an AoE this game. So,
Yeah, that's actually a great point. Is in that respect, I'm not sure how well he fits, but I mean, it's Phantom Lancer. I gotta at least root a little bit in my heart of hearts for Shakir right now. I love this hero ever since I saw CSMJ play that game where he lost his relic quite early on and then refarm it so quickly. That was on PL. Back in the days when you could kill a courier and then destroy the items on it. Ever since then, I've been a PL fanboy. You're right. The agility gain is now it's 4.2 now, and I believe it was either 2.7 or 2.8 in the previous version. About like you said, a 50% buff, which it's a massive amount of agility. I think it works out to be somewhere close to like 20 additional, 25 additional agility by the time he's level 25. It's so much extra damage for an illusion based hero,
yeah.
but it's only if the illusions stay alive. One thing I want to talk about with the lanes here. Well, let's introduce the players first, then we can analyze this one a bit more. Sockshka going to be playing the PL. Up on the top lane, Quelling Blade. Phantom Lancer, decent base damage, but this will make sure he gets all the last hits. NKZ, the stand-in on the Disruptor supporting him, did a great job last game. Thon Mayo played the Enchantress last game. This time around, he's playing the Leshrac. Maybe gonna do some roaming. I'm guessing just a lot of pulling on that safe lane. MYM Slayer, solo mid is the Queen of Pain. Will we see another Dagon? We'll find out soon. And finally, the final stand-in. I'm gonna call him Ho Lee because he already tripped us up last game, but he's playing the Windrunner. And yeah, why don't you go ahead and introduce MYM?
Yep. All right, and for Team MYM on the top lane, looks like we have a long lane Quava playing the Darkseer. Mid lane is going to be Invoker, played by Calculus once again. And on the bot lane, we have Balsam playing Tiny Atsi on the Tidehunter, and the last player is going to be theneno, who's playing Rubik. So this is going to be a trial lane, including Tiny. Now, this is going to be up against the solo Windrunner. If they play this correctly, Windrunner is going to get 0 EXP. They're going to be able to pull and possibly score some kills. Or we'll see some roaming coming from Tide and Rubik. They do have one smoke, so a gank on the mid lane. It's going to be tough to score a kill on the Queen of Pain is the hard part. They don't really have that much stun, just limited to the telekinesis. So I think this tri lane might have some issues, at least being really effective towards the Dire team.
Yeah, at the same time, Darkseer normally one of the very most survivable heroes, but in this game, he's up against Disruptor, who's so good at, well, disrupting your escape attempts. Whether you're a blinking hero or someone who's Surge, you try and run away and he glimpses you back into kinetic field. Look at the damage he's doing! He has Surge and Ion Shell. I really think he could have even gone for a first blood, but I gotta play that one safe. But with Ion Shell and Surge and Split Earth being so hard to land, might have been enough. Either way, you know, much scarier to deal with, I think, for these supports than for the Windrunner in the bottom lane.
Yeah, it's very important you don't let the Darkseer hit level 2. Once he hits level 2, he's got the maximum movement speed. He can get away from heroes unless he gets stunned. Most importantly, the Phantom Lancer is a very basic slow, but they let him get level 2. He got almost all of his first level by sitting near the creep wave. The last strike didn't come around in time, and then finally when he did, he's level 2, and Darkseer is no threat to dying at all. So slight mistake by the tri-lane on the top lane, whereas we compare this to the Windrunner. Windrunner's still at 0 EXP. So slight advantage going to the Radiant team at the start here. As we see Cold Snap mid lane, Queen of Pain blinks away, and last hits are looking pretty decent for the Radiant team.
Yeah, Phantom Lancer already 7-2. The Quelling Blade helping him secure everything. Tiny, Balsam taking a ton of damage. If you're going to do a lot of pulling in the tri-lane, I normally like to see a Stout Shield. It's not just for the harassment from enemy heroes, it's so you don't have to use all your regen. It's so annoying. I've been in this situation a lot of times where my lane mate just keeps on pulling and, you know, you lose, you chew through all your tangos and your salve, which isn't a big deal now, but if they let up the pressure on the Windrunner, she starts auto-tagging, even at level 1, it gets pretty annoying. But he is getting free farm in exchange for PL. I think both of these heroes can carry extremely hard in the late game, so I think that's an even trade. Seems like the Dire overall is doing just a little bit more pulling, and it's a better side to do creep pulls on. You can pull to more camps. They're also stacking quite a few camps, and if this keeps up, it looks like they may be able to pull ahead. As Darkseer picks up a haste turn, he may even be the one who ends up stealing these, which would be hugely annoying for Shakira if he's able to do that.
Yeah, just put an Ion Shell in one of the neutral creeps and it ends up doing the splash damage. Not only the lane creeps, but also the other neutrals. And if you get lucky, you can steal a lot of the last hits. But instead, he's actually messed around with the pulls a little bit. Didn't want to pull the Wildkin into there to let Nyx get some extra gold out of it. And level 3 now in Disruptor as he's going to try to contest. Oh, wow, it's actually going to be a Darkseer pull here. Pulls the Wildkins on over. That's going to help out his EXP a little bit, or hopefully for him at least, deny the EXP from the Disruptor.
It's one of the few jungle advantages the Radiant have is that they can actually pull that off lane, whereas the Dire, there's just no way to actually do that. So at least no, so you can pull the off lane all the way down near the Radiant Tower, but that's not really a safe thing to do at this point in the game. Only later on if the tier 1 dies. Yeah, so far, pretty even game. I mean, Darkseer is having a little bit of a better time than Windrunner, but one nice thing you could do is, yes, Beastmaster can stack Ancients. Windrunner can actually farm them, but she has opted to stack them. I honestly think it's a little bit better. Oh, they're going to go in on Calculus right now. Ghost Walk, no Sentry Wards. Well, they did force the Ghost Walk out, but as a mid hero and, you know, still having quite a decent amount of mana, I don't really think it's as effective as the gank we saw last game onto the Invoker.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. And last time it did burn him all the way down to just about 0 mana. He still has about 200 here. It's going to hurt him a slight amount, but he's really fast on the Ghost Walk at least, so able to stay alive very easily. And that was actually a very casual roam from theneno. His pulls were completely gone at the time. He spent 100 mana for that. Absolutely worth it. He's going to come behind. Can he land the stun, though? That's the real question. He's going to try to. He's a little out of range, though. And Dagger's used good pathing from Calculus there to stay alive.
Yeah, while this is happening, you'll notice the Darkseer gets a little more aggressive up top. Oh, sockshka really has to be careful. The Ion Shell's brought him quite low. Disruptor trying to get in range for that glimpse. There's no kinetic field, but I think a glimpse and another spear. They are going to go. There's your glimpse in to the kinetic field. It is available, and will they get this kill? No, because sockshka went back to farming. Miscommunication. Not sure that's the first blood, but you're at least forcing him to burn the rest of his regen. Maybe go back to base. This might be the first blood. Round 3, fight. theneno comes in. Not going to hit on the kinetic field, and actually, is he really... Oh, he's going to escape again. unbelievable unless MYM Slayer comes up. So it's now 4 heroes chasing this Darkseer around the world. There's the spear, the auto attacks coming out, the surge cools down, still surviving even when they kill him, which they should really be able to at this point. Maybe not. MYM Slayer says, forget this, go ahead, suicide to the neutral creeps, what do I care? So no first blood, and a ton of wasted time for the Darkseer and for the supports.
Yeah, mostly the Queen of Pain actually did shift and miss a couple last hits there as a result. So that was a lot of wasted time for sure. I'm sure he was super happy. He's like, oh, nice, a stacked camp. So I'll die twice as fast over here as I suicide. It's like a godsend there in the large jungle. Windrunner's still stacking Ancients, actually. Still level 1, by the way. Normally, as a long lane support, the nice thing you can actually do is go to the jungle at least and kill the small camps. Pretty much any hero can actually do that pretty effectively with some of their regen. But Windrunner is just completely focused on taking out rock golems and finally gets her first piece of experience. An ancient rock golem gives her 119. So that's something. Mid lane getting ganked, though. Going down on Calculus, there's a dagger. Stun's going to land this time. He's going to be able to cast Edict, and Calculus actually in a ton of trouble. He can do Ghost Walk, but he's got to dodge the Edict. Can he do it? It's going to come for him. Oh, he gets so low, but he jukes back at the last second. I think the dagger's going to get him. It's going to be close. Eats a tango to stay alive. Is going to keep him alive for just a second. He's going to end up surviving this, but he's got to get back home, and there's going to be a gush on Thonmeo who wants that haste rune, but we'll see Queen of Pain steal it first. Now Scream of Pain on the Rubik. These are low-level support. He just throws a stun, going to completely whiff it, though. And some more damage coming. There's the Iron Shell on the Darkseer. Edict is being used. That's it for Rubik. He gets picked off first. Haste, that's first blood, by the way. Finally happening at the start of this game, and the rest of the heroes back off. Queen Pain going to still be aggressive, but I don't think she's going to be able to get these kills.
You think not, but she thinks yes, so she continues to dive. It's the level advantage on the supports that you're referring to. Blinks on in, but into tower range. Now thrown back into the tower, and she's going to die to that last auto attack from the turret, from the tower. A little too much damage, and a little bit of snarky talk there from the Nino.
Yeah, it was definitely overly aggressive from the Queen of Pain. I mean, there were already 2 heroes there, plus a TP on the way, and she still blinked in to try to snag the kill. Some nice juking going on, but man, I can't believe... Alright, Windrunner could legitimately get EXP in the lane now, and she is still pulling Ancients. She could easily stand by the tower. Sure, it's a Tiny who could pretty much easily one-shot you with this combo, but I mean, I think she's spending a little bit too much time in the jungle. Stacks it one more time, at least, but... very, very behind right now as a Windrunner. One last hit.
She is level 1 against the level 7 Tiny with phase boots, though, and that's a kill. Oh, man.
Alright. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I mean, I agree. I think she could have gotten the experience, but she actually wanted to get the creep last hit, so that's where she got a little bit too aggressive. But, you know, it's a really tough spot. Windrunner normally a pretty good escape artist, especially against a melee hero, but Tiny is so much burst. If he hits you with Avalanche, you're mostly going to give up a kill, and here comes the counter gank, though. Killing Tiny is totally worth that Windrunner death, and they may be able to do it. Avalanche, he's got the toss. He kills one. No. He wants 2, and I don't know if he gets it. That last auto attack for the creep dodged by Windrun, but what a turnaround for Balsam, and that is a really bad situation for Queen of Pain.
He had virtually nothing there. I mean, that was literally the Clarity Potion and Phase Boots. He was able to combo, almost get a double kill. If he would have grabbed that, would have been insane. Not that level 2 Windrunner, excuse me, gives you a whole lot of EXP or anything.
Top lane.
Some engagements going on. Sock is getting low. Soul, he does go Soul Ring, Tranquil Boots. Some slight nerfs to both of these items recently. In the last patch, Soul Ring has a longer cooldown. Tranquil Boots as well, actually. I think 25 seconds. No, I'm sorry. It's the amount of damage you take from a player has been reduced to 3 charges before it just simples into regular boots. But either way, this allows him to just spam Lance all day. He's got 2 levels in Doppelwalk right now. Looks like he's actually 1 level of stats and 2 Doppelwalk with a max Lance and his ulti. Hasn't grabbed Juxtapose yet, but at some point we'll see him pick up some levels of this.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. I mean, it says he's ahead in terms of net worth on Tiny, but I believe that's because there's something big on the courier. There is. It's the drums. Top lane. They go on to Nino. The Rubik, only level 4. He gets pulled back in, easily killed off. Now the Edict comes out, doing some decent damage, but also being split up by the creep wave. Sockshka throws in a lance, but the rest of the team is going to run away. MYM Slayer waiting to slay. He wants a frag. He wants Calculus. Nails him with the ult, although Calculus almost got out of range. So finally Queen of Pain connects for a big kill there. And very little time wasted. I think she saw the Invoker just sort of wandering around on that bottom lane and is able to pick up the kill. Now hitting level 8. Not the kind of Queen of Pain start we saw last game, though. This one is much slower.
And Sock on the top lane is 1,300 gold. It's probably going to Radiance, I would hope. Buying something right now, it looks like. It's going to be a TP scroll, so just playing it pretty safe for now. He does have a pretty easy lane. He does have to worry about the Iron Shell, of course, which is, I'm sure, has been a nuisance the entire time. But now that he has Tranquil as well as Soul Ring, his base HP regen is already at 7, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. His last hits are looking good, 51. Tiny is catching up though, 50 for himself, plus he has 0 kills, 2 kills and 1 assist. And like you said, he did pick up Drum, possibly will be going the DPS build this game, and even more AoE. If he grabs the Aghanim Scepter, he's just going to cleave through those illusions so easily. And Windrunner is still pulling. I mean, I wish this was a Beastmaster. If this would be a Beastmaster, she could actually kill this thing, but since it's just a Windrunner, she doesn't have any way to do damage to the Magic Immune units.
They don't have anyone who can kill it. Mayo getting gushed up towards the top lane. Throw him up on the cliff, you know you want to. Yes, they do, and then they get the kill anyway. I think they had that no matter what, but much sexier that way.
Yeah, that's for sure. Queen of Pain trying to pressure a little bit. She's being really aggressive, actually. Gets tornadoed. Does she really want to go in? They've got a level 3 Windrunner here. He's got 2 levels of Shackle, 1 power shot, but very little HP or gold. PL still farming top, so kind of very patient poking going on from both teams.
This is weird. I think we saw the same thing yesterday, where a Windrunner just maxed Shackle shot first over power shot. You have to be a lot closer to use it. It's not a spell you can count on hitting, but I guess it's just more of this utility Windrunner where you're here just to provide the disable. You're not going to be a damage dealer in this game, not with this kind of start. But we'll see if he actually ends up leveling it up or going back for the power shot later on. Just a little bit strange, I gotta say.
Yeah, it is weird, but if you think about it, if you're in a team fight and you're very, very underfarmed and you can't contribute there very much, if you can just throw a nice disable and walk away, maybe shoot a little weak damage power shot, then it's a little bit more reliable in some ways. Power shot is always going to be fantastic, of course, but they actually don't have that many disables, so in some ways they will really need this to be leveled up to be super useful.
That's actually a really good point. They are very lacking, aside from the Disruptor, pretty much. Split Earth! What a Split Earth! Tide only level 5, doesn't matter. Immediately Disruptor picked off. Now Mayo pops the Edict, but doesn't matter. Surrounded and quickly brought down. Queen of Pain struts up there, but far too late to do anything. And this is the big difference. Nope. Phantom Lancer's not there. He TP'd back to base a while ago. This is really the big difference between a Tiny and a Phantom Lancer. I think we're seeing some of the weakness of Phantom Lancer. He can't be nearly as effective at this point in the game as a hero killer as Tiny can. At the same time, Tiny's pretty scary late game with this build, so Balsam just understanding what his hero's good at and getting active on the map. I really like this choice.
Yeah, it's definitely very effective here. Invoker's pulling back the mid lane as well. And we see Queen of Pain shifting, checking for runes. 12 minutes, me a regen, actually. Nice pickup for her. I did like a Sock's escape, by the way. As soon as he saw the heroes coming, he was already low HP. He knew he couldn't deal with it, so he soul ringed and TP'd out. And that's really what he needed to do. And on the bright side, they also wasted dust on that. So 90 gold gone forever from Rubik's hands.
You know, whenever a Tiny has this good of a start, I always want to do an HP check, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing for this Dire squad. 815 on the Queen of Pain, 701 on the Disruptor, 815 on the Phantom Lancer, Windrunner 701, Leshrac 587. Every single one of these heroes can be solo killed.
Yeah, it's going to be very easy. Avalanche misses the Queen of Pain. Actually, Dagger might get a Shackle shot if he gets closer to the trees. How actually she's on cooldown. I'm sorry, goes for the juke path. And another Scream, but he's got so much HP. 1,500 HP here.
Phantom Lancer. He's thrown up on the hill on the top side of the map, trying to TP out, but Colt's not going to cancel it. Oh, this Rubik is so damn cheeky, and he goes a Doppelwalk, but ravaged! Oh, 8 wanted to get both. That is silly.
Yeah, only gets one though, not able to grab the Thrall, but very close, or Disruptor, excuse me. Do you want to break copyright laws or anything here? 1,400 gold on Darkseer now, and Soul Ring, probably going to be Pipe afterwards. Pipe very good against Queen of Pain, against Disruptor, against pretty much all of the heroes, even if the PL ends up getting something like a Radiance. It's going to be excellent item choice. He bought something, there's something sitting on the courier, and it's going to be a Vitality Booster and Stout Shield, so he's actually going to have Vitality Booster and then go for the Relic, but it's 13 minutes in here. He has gotten killed once, one death and only 1 assist, no kills at all for him. He's having a tough time, and he's going to have to start working on his Radiance, but it's going to be a long time until he gets it finished.
I honestly don't know if you can even go back for it, because Tiny, with an Aghanims, he just destroys those illusions in the mid game. Plus, you talked about it early in the draft. Just so many big AoE spells already on this lineup. So much ability to clear out the illusions. I don't know if you can outcarry Tiny with this kind of a start. Net worth almost, well, it's a 1,500 greater for the Tiny right now, which is not overwhelming, but I think it's enough of a lead. Tiny snowballs so much harder in the mid game until PL gets. He's really a hero that needs 2 items. I feel like a Diffusal Blade +1 or a Radiance +1, and I think by that point Tiny has his Aghs and maybe even a Yasha as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of the trouble that also came towards the PL was just that Darkseer's by far one of the best long laners in the entire game. If you think about any other hero long laning against a PL who has Soul Ring Tranquil, they will get harassed out of lane by Lance Spam. There's nothing you can do about it. He's going to king cast it every 7 seconds. Every 30 seconds, he's got a Soul Ring cast, which is a free 150 mana, and he's got Tranquil Boots to make up for the fast that he spams it. But the problem is that Darkseer can put an Iron Shell down. It not only harasses the Phantom Lancer, but it gets him last hits, and not to mention naturally tanky as a hero as well.
Holy, somehow denies that tower bottom. Tiny's toss and it was left with like 3 HP. Now they want to turn this one around.
Doesn't throw the shackle though. And Tiny's going to walk away. Maybe could have shackled from the range creep there, but he didn't go for it. And maybe they could have, but Leshrac only level 4. And if they missed it though, and they went in on that and didn't get the kill, I mean, look how squishy they are. That's an easy double kill on the Windrunner and the Leshrac if things go bad. They're fighting mid though. Dagger on top of Atsy. They're going to steal one spell. Glimpse back, actually put Tide in. He doesn't have a Ravage, so he is pretty much committed here. Oh, well, unfortunate whiff from Queen of Pain. He was already killed from the Scream. Kind of a waste there, but either way, they do get the Tide Hunter, and they might be able to take a tower out of this. Perhaps they're going to try to pressure it, but the Radiant team is already set up to defend.
Great time to fight. If Ravage is up there and you glimpse him back in, that's almost like just giving Tide a blink dagger, and things could have been really ugly for them, but good time to fight. Now Ravage is up, though, so I don't know what they can do at this point. Off of that, I think you just back up and thank your lucky stars that you finally got a kill. And it's 5-8. It's not that they're that far behind in terms of kills, but it just feels like it's a very defensive posture for this lineup. And I don't know if they're really going to get stronger later on in the game. I feel like they're more about getting pickoffs, sort of spreading the map, not really strong in the team fight department as MYM.
Calculus is going to find a support hero. Only 600 HP. Does have 15 charge 1, though. Building towards a bracer. He has HP up. He actually wants to gank maybe Sock.
He wants the
no,
courier.
He's going for the courier. He wants the courier. Here's first right click. Needs probably 3. He's going to need 3 for sure. And the courier's going to survive. Actually, there's the glimpse. TP actually interrupts the TP. Calculus way out of place here. Here comes the Edict. Great shackle to the only tree left over. And the Phantom Lancer tries to snag it, but unfortunately Disruptor was the one to get the last hit. So
outrageously
really greedy play. That was really, really greedy.
Disgustingly greedy, really. That's too much. But MYM Slider, oh man. That's that combo we talked about, but Nino gets shackled. He might be in trouble to this.
Sock's going to have a Soul Ring in about 10 seconds, but he doesn't have enough mana. There's the Ravage actually getting gushed on the PL. They want to kill him. Dust is used, and the toss does get him. PL, pretty squishy hero generally. Edict is used as well, but the creeps are there messing things up. Great shackle again on the the Tide. And almost getting the kill. Disruptor's going to finish off. Look at the hits from Thon. Oh my god, the damage from Tiny. Every punch does 200, and he gets a rampage. Balsam just cleaning up hard, starting off with the Phantom Lancer and getting the rest of the squishy heroes. Once they got close, it's an avalanche toss, and it's all over.
Well, that's a morale killer right there.
Yeah.
Rampage from the Tiny, who still hasn't completed the Aghanims, mind you. He doesn't have his items yet. That's the auto attacks from the ult, as well as the nuke damage. And yes, he was on cleanup duty, but man, can that hero clean up with a vengeance. That's the Aghanims. He's got it now if he wants it. I think he is going to go straight for it. You know, it's interesting. Sometimes we see players go for Yasha first. Sometimes even complete a Manta, then go back for the Aghanims. But I think if you can really have a powerful start, the Aghanims does a little bit more than that. Well, the tower gets picked off, so now he's got another 900 gold. I'm actually terrified to look at the gold graph, and as I do, it's not a happy sight. Looking real bad for Shakira in game 1 after a very impressive, or game 2, after a very impressive game number 1. The tides really have turned.
Yeah, MYM is doing quite well here. I mean, their lanes worked out better. The Phantom Lancer pick hasn't really done anything yet. He's got 1 kill, but that was at, I don't even know where he got that kill. It was sometime in the last 3 or 4 minutes, but only 1 kill, 2 deaths, and 2 assists. He hasn't really been able to at least contribute to his lane massively, other than harassing the Darkseer a bit. And he's just, you know, he's got to have at least a Radiance before he can really do anything. Despite having this agility buff, sure, his illusions are going to be better lately, but he hasn't put a single level into Juxtapose yet, which I would even say is maybe a little bit of a mistake. But that's kind of the limitations of PL as a hero.
What is MYM doing? They're fighting so aggressively across the river. Oh, this is why they're here, because Tiny is about to show up. Tossing in Calculus is an option. He's going to do it. Glimpsing it back. Oh, that's not good. Not going to be sufficient. Disruptor actually killed off. That's trouble. It was a nice effort there. But not enough in the end, and now Balsam continuing to give chase, shackled up to Calculus, really nice shackle, but they're just trying to run from this terrifying beast of a man, or rock, whatever you want to call it. One more auto attack, blinking and assassinated by MYM Slayer, but he will pay for that unless there's a brilliant split earth, and unfortunately the Force Staff away. Jukes away from that. Gem of True Sight is on the ground. Not sure who picked that one up. It looks like Otzi claimed it. That's the Tide Hunter. Anchor Smash misses. Then the Gus is going to connect to the split earth. He's surviving. He's got a salve. Ravage
Oh!
whips. Oh, Otzi, that was so greedy. And he
Oh
doesn't
my
even
gosh.
get the kill. Oh, my goodness. What a fantastic play by theneno as well. Oh, that is a pretty big mistake.
He played great there. That was awesome. Canceled his stun animation, so Tide got scared. And then last second, he pops Ravage. He's like, all right, I'll just kill. Let's take the kill. And then he walked away. Just walked away. We could maybe blame Ravager for that one, but either way, the great plays by Leshin. Oh, once again, another greedy play from MYM. Team Greed over here.
You know, that's the change to Ravage. You know, you talked about not really... I think we talked about this yesterday when we were probably, oh, no time to discuss, or is there? Yeah, Invoker should escape, but in comes the backstab from the theneno. It's the change to Ravage, though. The travel time is a little bit lower, and now the fight breaks out. MYM Slayer getting thrown up in the air. Cold snap on him, but Tiny assassinates ldShrek while that's happening. Now the chase is on, and this Rockman is very hard to run from. Tornado not going to connect. Still just charging his way, and he used the drum charge for this. Can toss an ally in. Tosses in theneno. Telekinesis should be there. 1 second. Deafening Blast as well. Shackle hits on 2. But too late, the damage already done. Now NKZ comes in. Great Static Storm, catching out 3. Will he actually be able to get a double off of this? They get 2. Double kill from the support, but vacuumed in into the avalanche, into the auto attacks, and sockshka probably going to die to this one. No, he's trying to juke, but the gem on Tiny, no escape for him. Relentless aggression from MYM.
Yeah, they're absolutely destroyed right now. Despite the kill graph actually being kind of close, there's really not a whole lot they can do about this. Ulti from Queen of Pain, no, it's on cooldown. The TP out isn't going to be enough. Gets the kill, just barely. Very, very close kill there. Blink in a second. Got to get away from the Tiny. He's got his combo up, and he has his ulti. Obviously. Ooh. Big right clicks. There's going to be 1 glyph, and he's going to get a tower from this one now.
I thought
even more gold. 14 kills on Tiny this game. I mean, the setup was perfect. I mean, look at all the squishy heroes. You touched on this earlier. They all have such little HP, and he can just one-shot combo almost all of these guys with a right click as well. And he's got 3,000 gold on top of that. Very, very soon to an AC or what other damage amplification item he wants to grab.
Just get a Mask of Madness. You know you want to, Balsam. But really, it's a great position to be in right now. And MYM, they can afford to take some risks because honestly, PL is just we're sort of seeing that he's just not a high impact hero until he gets his items up. Whereas Tiny with phase boots and a drum, even with just phase boots, was solo killing Windrunner as a melee hero who's not that mobile. Avalanche of the toss. Yes, it's a level 1 Windrunner and he was 7, but. That's something Tiny can do easily, whereas for PL, even if he was up against Windrunner, he's not instantly killing her. He's just throwing a spear, even if she's level 1, and then she runs away. So it's a higher impact hero at this stage of the game, and Balsam's take advantage of that power curve.
Yeah, I'm not too big of a fan of the Vanguard purchase on PL either. I think the Vitality Booster is borderline necessary to get his HP up, especially against burst damage heroes, which the Radiant team has much of, but spending the extra 1,000 gold on the Ring of Health and the Stout Shield I think is unnecessary. Shackle actually on the Darks here going to take some damage. Shackle actually back on Queen of Pain. Doesn't latch though, just barely. Big ulti as well. Going to catch. Tide's going to Ravage on 3, but he hasn't been able to secure any kills. The rest of the fight's going on other places. Tiny doing some big right clicks. There's a toss on Queen of Pain. Hitting for 200 still. We put a gush on her, and she's down to 100 HP, but fight's not over. Shackle once again not latching. Really getting unlucky. Great deafening blast catching 2. Tiny wants to snag something. He needs to toss somebody. It's going to be a Tide toss.
Oh, what a beautiful combo. A vacuum canceling the TP from Disruptor, who's still trying to run. Sockshka goes invis. Remember, they have a gem on Tiny. This is not going to help him escape. Avalanche, not there, but the toss is, and that's another kill on Sockshka. 3 heroes dead. Did somebody just respawn? I believe the Disruptor, or sorry, the ldShrek just came back to life. Queen of Pain barely escaping. That was almost another team wipe. You really could call it such, if not for Queen of Pain living with about 10 HP.
Yeah, that is not good at all. Midwave is going to get killed a little bit. Tier 2 tower taking right clicks. The toss goes up in the air as well. Blink Dagger purchase on Tide. The support hero, he's farmed. It's going to make things even harder. For once, Tiny doesn't get a last hit, actually. 2,600, so he's going for Manta, it looks like, with the Yasha pickup. It'll help fill in his armor hole as well as make him really fast. And, of course, more distraction and general annoyance in team fights with the illusions.
How do you miss that, Balsam? Come on, man. No, I'm just kidding. But it's funny, you know. I actually miss towers a lot with Tiny, even though you'd think you'd never miss them with the club as well as the toss combo. I mean, you literally could do about I want to say like a 5th or 6th of the tower's health, even at this level with this many items, just with that combo. But one thing we haven't even seen yet is the full synergy of this lineup, which is Alacrity onto that Tiny. Oh, bottom lane.
He's doing his best to not die, but it's not looking good. Rubik does get picked off pretty easily. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger or any escape. Tiny actually wants to rumble
Do
here.
it! Do it!
Is he gonna do it? He's doing it. There's the combo coming in, picks up 2. Tornado start things off. Actually keeps Disruptor alive for a second, but Disruptor drop next. Great shackle on the only two heroes. Power Shot gets the kill on Tiny. Calculus now gonna have to run away from that one. There's a Scream of Pain. Man, very, very pro shackle. Very important that they landed that. Otherwise, might have seen 3 or 4 heroes die. And it might actually see Invoker go down as well. There's Scream of Pain. Is he gonna ulti? Doesn't have it. Cooldown. And now he's gonna TP out immediately. Very smart. Can they vacuum? Oh, it's on cooldown. So he's gonna survive. Balsam actually comes down as well. So
he bought back. He bought back for that.
Wow.
This is, and he still is 2100 gold. Just insane. You know, it's just every aspect of this hero. I think Tiny is really one of the strongest carries in the game, especially in this patch, right, where you get rewarded more for hero killing. He's great at hero killing. He's still very strong at pushing. He scales quite well into the late game. He counters illusion carries quite hard. I honestly think we might see Tiny starting to get played a lot more. I mean, it's not like we haven't seen carry Tiny before. We've seen a lot of it, but especially if you combo with Wisp, just so much potential here. Especially in this version.
God, he found their ancients.
Oh no.
Everything Windrunner worked for. Who's got the best AoE in the game? This guy. I think this is the best way to kill dragons, so just use giant trees and punch them in the face. I mean, look at this.
That's like a redwood sized tree.
Oh my god. He probably just got so much gold. That's gotta be like 1500 at least. All from those stacks. Everything Windrunner worked for at the start of the game finally getting cleaned up.
Insane. Just Flash farms really well. It's not quite an AM with the Battle Fury, but it's pretty close. He moves so quickly with the phase drums that it's almost like having Blink. And now the Manta comes in, 700 gold up. They really could have gone for Roche, but I think they're just more interested in hero kills right now.
They will find some PL illusions, see how PL is doing here. Top lane, second Blade of Alacrity, Robo the Magi. It's going to be a Diffusal Blade soon, but 26 minutes, yeah, it's not really going to pay off at this point. Most importantly, Craigie Exterior. I mean, 24% of the melee attacks that come towards Tiny are going to result in somebody getting stunned on average. So, I mean, even if he has a lot of illusions up, they're going to get stunned constantly. It's going to reduce a lot of the damage. Might as well be evasion or something.
Yeah, it's yeah, you're right. The late game matchup isn't that good. I think the one way they can really come back into this is if they somehow get a couple of hexes up, but that's Queen of Pain is an Aghanims and 1700 gold. She's the closest one to it. The Windrunner is, I mean, this is the slumming it build, right? You get the double bracer, now you go back for the power treads, or maybe a necro book, whatever he's building, just raw HP. Not what you would like to be building at this point in the game.
Yeah, that's pretty much the best thing that we could see out of Windrunner with her very limited farm. What are her last hits? She is at 25 last hits, despite being a long lane. So if we compare that to the Darkster's at 117, doing much, much better. Look at the item difference. He's got Pipe, Vanguard, even a Point Booster and an Arcane Boots compared to what Windrunner's working with. It's just not even comparable. But I still think there is a slight chance for the Dire team. I mean, we have already demonstrated that MYM is team over aggression, throwing away their deaths, throwing away their lives a couple times. We saw it again on the bot lane. Tiny was like, 4 heroes? Let's try to get them all, you know, and then he ended up dying from it. So there is chances for comebacks. PL's still going to have some issues late game, but there's a possibility.
Yeah, and I think that they lost the gem in that fight too. So it wasn't just the kills that they gave away. It was even more economic damage.
Oh wow, yeah.
They could have gone on to Roshan here, but just doing the, you know, one thing I'll say is when teams are going for Roshan, it's really important to get these wards up, and I love the ward placements. Alacrity could really help Tiny do this more quickly, but unfortunately, Invoker's all the way in the bottom lane. Queen of Pain is on the hunt. I think MYM Slayer is sort of having trouble adjusting his play style from the super aggressive Dagon game we saw last game to... in fact, he's just going to ult the creep wave to try and push the lane a little bit. But now he's not going to have the ult for Roshan, although they're probably not fighting this anyway. Fighting near the pit up against Darkseer and Tide is just a recipe for disaster.
Man, their damage really isn't that good in the pit here. We do see a kinetic field. Gonna catch Darkseer in there. A couple more right clicks and Tiny's got it though. And he does pick up the Aegis. Some pressure mid. We see Job Edict stolen from Rubik. By Rubik, that is. Calculus looking for a Tornado, but nothing latches. And I think they're just gonna push up the mid now, taking a Rex. And they should have a really good chance of doing this with all 5 heroes. I mean, they've got Darkseer. All they have to do is wall vacuum, and there's gonna be a lot of nasty illusions going on here. Diffusal Blade's finished on PL at least, so they'll have that, but it is looking scary. Glyph is being used. Here comes the TP. This is going to be PL jumping in. First vacuum start things off. Wall is going to catch only Disruptor, though. It is going to create some kind of a phase-out mechanic. Queen of Pain's doing everything she can, but look at the hits from Tiny. First stun, Shackle latching too. He does have a pipe up. We have Queen of Pain waiting just a second. There it is. Waits till the pipe runs out and then jumps on him. But the Deafening Blast blinks out just last second. Blink Ravage. It's going to catch Queen of Pain. Can he get the kill? He does grab the kill. Reaching over just well enough. There's Toss as well. He's going to have to die for this one, but I think it's going to be completely worth it here. Leshrac popping a wand, trying to stay alive as well. Leshrac will survive, but the tower's gone, so they are not going to be pushed away for long.
Oh, Sockshka, you gotta run right now. He's gonna get comboed. Not sure why he charged back in there. Might be able to escape. Does bait out the avalanche. In fact, can Disruptor pull him back in, backing towards the wall. Not gonna connect, just clubbing away. They do blow the Aegis. Kind of a sloppy fight from MYM, but they're gonna get racks off of this. In fact, the Windrunner, or excuse me, the Queen of Pain, in quite a bit of trouble. Tiny chasing, then backing off. Still not seeing Alacrity on him. Just more concerned about getting the Cold Snap out, the Tornado as well. Avalanche, Toss, cooling down, glimpsed back, but the Toss is going to follow. And it was an Ion Shell creep, but it dies, so not going to get the kill there.
One Shackle, nice pipe usage from Darkseer. We're going to buy him some time. And Diffuse the Blade really showing its usefulness at this point. It's pretty, look at there, it is Craggy exterior on the first one that hits him. Doesn't do a whole lot. Darkseer is so tanky as well. Just not in that much threat. The theneno does get jumped on by the Diffuse Blade. This will give them Sun Second. Oh, the Toss hits 3, and Sock might get cleared off. He's doing a little bit of attack moving here. Pops the Manta as well. Picking off the Disruptor, cleans up everybody in the mid lane. Queen of Pain jumps in, tries to snake some kills, takes out a Rubik, but Phantom Lancer buys back, it looks like. Wants to fight. Invoker buying back as well. He's going to TP to the mid lane, running back as fast as possible, and they might be able to take a double racks from this one.
Queen of Pain and Phantom Lancer both bought back. Queen of Pain's not dead for a minute. This looks like it might just be game, and is this the first 1-1 series we've had in the Gosuleague? I think at least out of the games I've cast it is, so...
Yeah.
Pretty
of
interesting series.
Alacrity is good with Tiny, I heard, and there it is.
Yeah. Finally they go for that combo. They don't really need it, he just does so much already, but it really amps up his damage.
Yeah, the attack speed is fantastic here. That was a weird little illusion.
You know, I really want to see carry Tiny with Empower on top of him as well. I like it.
Oh my gosh.
You know, putting Tiny and Magnus on a team, like they're two heroes that aren't really the best in the laning stage, so I'm not sure you can fit it into a competitive lineup, but if you could, oh man. Think of the possibilities, Kevin. Think of the possibilities.
AoE monsters, both of them. And then just play a little bit of support Magnus. Give the Tiny all the fun, ulti it in, and even just Avalanche Toss combo. If you do hit 3 heroes with that, it's insane damage in a team fight. There's not a lot of heroes that have that much AoE. You could compare it to something like a Queen of Pain ulti very easily if you do actually do the Avalanche Toss combo. So despite him actually doing hard carry potential, he still does have a lot of AoE nuke and pretty decent disables on top of that.
And it's not quite spammable, but it's close. You know, Avalanche, 17-second cooldown, Toss only 10. They're not that long. You can get that off way more frequently with a Queen of Pain. Plus the auto attacks are like, it's like an epicenter pulse almost every time it goes off. Not having the slow, but the damage. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. How are you gonna build a BKB when you have 6k gold? I wanted to see a Butterfly, I wanted to see a Daedalus. I am disappointed, but now Darkseer in the Static Storm just too tanky with the Vanguard and the Pipe. Split Earth connects on 2. Balsam with the Boots of Travel. Back in the fight. Couple of auto attacks. That's a bunch of kills. The GGs fly forward. They want to toss an MYM Slayer, but they get juked a little bit. And Sockshka should be dying here momentarily to Tide. In fact, he's kind of chilling there, typing out GGs while Otzi is wailing away at him. And in the end, the lone survivor is Queen of Pain.
Yeah, great play by MYM there. The Phantom Lancer really wasn't able to do anything. The Tiny was able to get insane farm, whereas the Windrunner got nothing. So they ended up winning their laning stage and really doing much better in the mid game. I mean, Phantom Lancer has very limited applications, and they're up against a Tidehunter Darkseer Tiny. Just too much, honestly, and they weren't able to match up against it. So we're going to see a 1-1 between MYM here and the other team. Shakira? Yes, that's it. Shakira.
There you go. So what are we looking at for our standings now? It looks like MYM is now going to be 0-1-2 in the group. Sorry, 0-2-1. 0 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. If we look at Shakira, they have 1 loss, and now they get a draw on the board. So neither team actually claiming a win just yet. And like you said, as Balsam picks up yet another kill, pops a celebratory BKB. Neither team really, and you know, they're still fighting to stay in Division 1 going into next season.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for them. Like you said, Shakira, this is Shakira's first win, I believe, of the Gosuleague, of their 2 matches that they've played. So they're both having a lot of issue here. But MYM sitting at 2 points instead of the 1 that Shakira is at. So MYM sitting slightly better as a result of their win just now. So a little celebratory tower diving, only 1 player left in the game, and a little bit of right clicks as we see the throne finish out. So I think that's about it. Once again, guys, this is Purge and LD. I hope all the audio stuff worked in game. LD, any shoutouts for you?
Just guys, if you enjoy my casting, you can follow me Facebook.com/ldDOTA, Twitter.com/ldDOTA, and youtube.com/ldDOTA. Twitch.tv/ldDOTA is my live stream. Of course, you can always follow Purge, twitch.tv/GGNetPurge, and then youtube.com/PurgeGamers. And you guys probably know the rest. Facebook and Twitter, same thing
You
there.
got it
So,
all. You
yeah.
you remember everything from yesterday.
Yeah.
Nice job. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, those are my places.
But yeah, thanks for having me. These were fun games. You one-sided in both, I have to say, especially this one. But sometimes
Yeah,
one-sided games can still be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's true. It was cool to see the Phantom Lancer, but unfortunately, it wasn't able to make anything happen, which is a little bit too bad. But to be expected. The agility buff, it only does so much. So that's how it goes. All right, thanks everybody for watching. Once again, if you want to know more about the Gosuleague, go to gosugamers.net. And that's pretty much it for the cast today. Thank you guys for joining in. And once again, thanks to the sponsors, AverMedia, and of course, Rocket. So we'll be back in a bit.